Does the Deek-Robot motor shield work with DCC++? Let me show you what I found. I've heard so many reports about the Deek-Robot motor shield working with DCC++, I had to check it out for myself. And I think where I found it was on some of the Facebook groups. I looked on Trainboard and I couldn't find it on there, so it had to be on one of the Facebook groups, but I'm not sure which one. But I went and bought the Gravity 2A, which uses pins 10, 11, 12, and 13. The Arduino motor shield uses pins 3, 11, 12, and 13. So what I had to do was I had to take a jumper and run it from 3 from the Uno back up to pin 10 on the motor shield to see if it would work. So let me show you what I found. That's a big bag for a motor shield. Let's see what we got here. Well, every time I get something from Deek-Robot, it comes in a nice little box like this. And it's sealed. So, let's cut that open. And motor shield in a little box. So I could use this Deek-Robot box for something else. But this is what we're looking at right here. And it's in a anti-static bag. Okay. Gravity 2+2A. They have two different ones and they use different pins. This is the Gravity and this one uses 10 through 13. I got this about a week ago and I've been playing around with it, and what I had to do was put these risers on there, and I have this set up to, I just purchased a Mega also, and I have the jumper on here for the Mega just from pin 2 to 13. But anyway, what I had to do, since Deek-Robot uses 3 of the 4 pins that the Arduino motor shield uses, the one odd pin was pin number 3 that the Arduino pin uses, which I have bent on that riser, and pin number 10 on the motor shield. So what I did was I jumpered from the Arduino to number 10 to resolve that problem. The programming track works and the running track works. The only issue that I have with the programming track is some of the tests that I did on there, I wasn't satisfied with the results. I did a read all sheets on the CV page, and it skipped a lot and it showed some of them as edited. So I wasn't satisfied with that. But that's the only issue I had with it. It did change CVs. I changed the bell rate individually, and that worked. And I didn't want to mess with anything else on it at the time. I'm going to do some further tests on it to see what will happen with changing some of the other CVs on there. I have JMRI started here. I have it on, and I'm just going to use the throttle that's on here. There's the throttle, new throttle. Instead of hooking up my cell phone to it, I have 84, is it 8432? Yeah, 8432. I'm going to set that in there. Right now I have it on the program track, so let me move this over to the running track. Okay. We'll put the headlight on. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see it. There you go. There's the headlight. There's the bell. Horn. Short horn. Okay, we'll put it in reverse or forward and then run it forward. Okay, so you see it works there on the running track. In reverse. Okay, that works fine. I'm going to stick this on the program track now. Release. Okay, now what we'll do, come over to roster, open it up, 8432, program track, program. Now let's see what this thing does over here. Alright, now I got the complete CVs open. Okay, you can see all of them are yellow and they're reading from file. Okay, we're going to go over to sound. Ring bell rate. Okay, it's 4 now. So you remember how it was ringing. I'm going to put it down to 0, and we're going to write changes on sheet. Okay, so it wrote the changes on there. So we're going to close this out temporarily. Save changes. We'll minimize this, and we'll come back over to the throttle. $84.32. And for some reason, if I keep that open with Decoder Pro and Panel Pro open at the same time, you have issues with it when you're using DCC++. Not when you're using regular DCC, but I found with DCC++, if you try to open both of them at the same time, you have issues with it. Now let's see what's going on here. Now we have it, and let's try the bell. We have it on. Okay, you can see it setting at 0. The bell goes really fast. Okay, so we know that worked. Alright, so we'll go back over to roster. Okay, we're back into the roster. We'll pull up the locomotive number here, program track, program. And we'll bring this down to here where you can see it in the middle of the screen. Alright, now we'll go back over to here to where we at, sound. Remember we had it at 4. We'll put it back up to 4 because I like that rate right there. So we'll write changes on sheet. Changed, and sound levels, we're going to keep all that the same. Now I'll come over here, and this is what I was having the issue with before when I would go and run read full sheet, and we'll do that and I'll show you what happens here. We'll see if I could duplicate it this time. See, it's going all red right now. Most of the time all these would change, but I wouldn't get a red. It's not able to read any of it. You can see it says program error on all of them. As I was coming down on here, these things would change, but only a few of them would be red, but now all of them are red. And let me bring over this other camera here. Okay, now on here, let's bring this over, move this down a little bit so you can see it. I have the jumper from 3 and going over to 10. Now that's the only difference on this motor shield. This motor shield uses 10, 11, 12, and 13. The Uno motor shield uses 3, 11, 12, and 13. So 10 is the only difference. So that's why I jumpered 3 from here to over here. That's not making a difference on here. It's not working as far as programming. It's not able to read the decoder. But it was able to write to the decoder. I broke down and I ordered a Deek-Robot. I ordered 2 of them, Deek-Robot motor shields, and I'm still waiting on it. It was probably at the beginning of December, and this portion right here I'm recording on December 22nd. When I first got this motor shield, I think it was December 6th, and I've been playing around with it, trying to get everything to work. I did it on the Uno, and then I ordered a Mega, and I tried it on the Mega. It's able to write to it, it's just not able to read it back. And it runs perfectly, so I have no issues with that. So as far as using the Deek-Robot, if you're going to use it for just running, I would say go ahead and do it. If you want to program with it, it's a little bit sketchy, pun intended. I would either go with the Arduino or the Deek-Robot from eBay, the $298, and the Pololu if you want more amperage. The Pololu is 3 amps per channel and 5 amps per channel, depending on how much you want to pay for it. So go with those. As far as this Deek-Robot one, if you have some other things where you could use it, I would say if you have one of those from Deek-Robot or from some of the other vendors that do not work with the Arduino, you could always use it for some other project, and I'll show you what you could use it for so you don't have a total loss of money with your motor shields. So as far as the Deek-Robot goes, you could use it to run, and let's keep it at that. I'm not going to say it works 100% because I didn't get it to work. I wasn't able to get it to read, so